Let's talk to Donald Trump right now. Mr. Trump, thank you for joining us again. I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. A Republican candidate for president in a pitched battle with the party's previous president and vice president.
Well, George, this wasn't started by me. This was started by Jeb Bush. He was telling me all sorts of good things, and in a debate and various other places. And finally, I said, "Hey, look, he was saying how safe things were." Well, I said, "Excuse me, the World Trade Center came down during your brother's administration. You can't bring out the brother, who might be a nice person. I don't know. I don't know the brother. I never met the brother. But you can't bring out the brother, say what a wonderful job he did. It's like a baseball game. They got 20 runs in the first inning, but after that, the team played well." The World Trade Center came down during his, and thousands of people, many of whom I knew, many people that I knew died in the World Trade Center. That happened during the Bush presidency, which is, you got to bring that out also.
Are you standing by your contention that President Bush lied about weapons of mass destruction? A bipartisan commission said there's no evidence to back that up.
I don't know if he lied or not. I just know there were no weapons of mass destruction. I know that his CIA and various other agencies knew that something bad was going to happen, that they did nothing about it. They did not get along. If you look back at your records, which a lot of people don't bother doing, they got along horribly. The heads of the CIA and the heads of the various other agencies weren't speaking. There was a lot of problems there. And obviously, Osama bin Laden, who I wrote about 2 years before the World Trade Center came down, I wrote about Osama bin Laden in my book. He was a bad dude. He should have been taken out, and you wouldn't have even had the World Trade Center. And one other thing, George, had we had my immigration policies in effect, those people wouldn't have even been in the country for the most part.
Let's move on to Ted Cruz. You said you want an apology from him. You wanted to take his ads down. He's not doing that. He's actually doubling down, putting up new ads attacking you this morning. So are you going to go to court today to challenge his candidacy?
Well, let me just tell you, I've dealt with many people over my lifetime, and I've been very successful, and I've dealt with some people a lot tougher than him, but I've never dealt with anybody that lied like him. Even Rubio, Marco Rubio, the other day at the debate, which is hard for a politician to do, he called him a liar. I said, wow, that's amazing. I've never heard that from a politician where they actually call each other liars. But Ted Cruz is a liar. I mean, he really just outright lies. He said, my whole thing is Obamacare, we're going to repeal it and replace it. He said, I love Obamacare. He said, I'm going to keep Obamacare. My whole thing, every single speech, you've heard numerous of my speeches. On the Second Amendment, there's nobody stronger on the Second Amendment than I am. And yet he said, Donald Trump wants to get rid of the Second Amendment.
So are you going to follow?
George, he'll say whatever he wants to say. I actually think he's a very unstable person. I really believe that. I think he's a very unstable person. But I've never had somebody take something that you believe in and just say the exact opposite. And then what he'll do, by the way, is on Sunday or Saturday evening, right after the vote, he'll apologize.
But are you going to follow? But are you going to follow through on your pledge to file a suit against his candidacy? You said you hired a lawyer.
Let me just tell you. With Ben Carson, what this guy did was a disgrace, and people shouldn't forget about it. He then wrote a fraudulent voter paper. You probably saw that, voter violation paper. But he apologized to Ben Carson immediately after the votes were cast. Frankly, that should be taken away from him. That election in Iowa should be taken away from him. Yeah, he was born in Canada. Many lawyers are saying he doesn't even have the right to run for president. He can't be president because of the fact he was born in Canada, lived there for years. I mean, under that theory, I guess Winston Churchill could be. You take a look at this. He was born in Canada, lived there for years. When you talk about a natural-born citizen, according to many great lawyers, I've been looking at it very strongly over the last 3 days.
So I'll ask you again, are you going to file suit?
I'm thinking about it very seriously, George. I already have a lawyer. We're looking at it very seriously. We're thinking about it.
Mr. Trump, thanks for joining us this morning.
Okay, thank you very much.